as Johnny G gets caught here. I had no sound in my YouTube live stream there. Had an update today for about an hour. Was on the phone with Dell, the Dell people, because I was afraid I was going to lose all my programs. And I was like, this can't happen. I'm doing a radio show tonight. Cannot be. So I see there's a bunch of people in my YouTube chat room that have no sound. And I think I got it back. I had to go to the Real Tech thing. Maybe it is back. Okay, yes it is. Thank you, Charlene, for that. Just heard from 1966, Bunny Foot Watson on the Big Hawk record label, a song entitled Donkey and the Goat Part 1, A New Dance. And he does have another release on the Caledonia label in 1972 and another one on Laurie Records in 1980, believe it or not. But that was a cool tune, dancing tune from 1966. Now that we have sound, let's continue now. This next singer was a member of the 1950s girl group The Hearts. In 1957, though, she went solo. She was mentored by J&S label owner Zell Sanders. Now, she recorded for a number of different labels through her career, besides J&S, Neptune, ABC, Paramount, and Juggy Murray's Sue record label. Let's give a spin to her 6th of 16 releases that came out on the Sue label. This one arranged by Bert Keys. This one charted regionally. This was a number 18 record on WWIN out of Baltimore, Maryland. Go back to September 1963. Miss Baby Washington. Baby Washington on Sue Records. Song entitled Hey Lonely.
Took a look in the mirror, and what did I see? For once in my life, I gave a lecture to me. Hey, lonely, see what you've done. You thought you were smart, yeah. You thought it would be fun. Hey, lonely, I bet you're sorry now. Oh yeah. So here you are standing with tears in your eyes. Thought he'd never find out. You thought you were wise. Sorry now, oh yeah. Your friends all say you shouldn't care. Tell me, what do they know about your love affair? Now you did the hurting, oh yeah, and you played the game. I know you did the cheating, oh while he
Scratchy 45s here for a Saturday evening. Original vinyl. I only play original vinyl, folks. No MP3s, no CDs, only sometimes Scratchy 45s. That's the great Baby Washington there, September 1963. That's her 6th of 16 releases on the Sue record label. Hey Lonely is the name of that one. And today, I apologize for those of you watching Johnny G on the YouTube live broadcast. I had a Windows update today, and it must have changed the setting there because the Real Tech input was not working for the sound, so I just clicked it and saved it. So now they do have vocal there in the YouTube chat room. You can check it out there if you like to watch Johnny G live. Actually, you see the turntables with the original labels going around. As we continue here, it's my All 60s edition. We do it the last Saturday of every month. And most of the time I'm playing 1950s and early 60s records, doo-wop records, R&B. But tonight it's all 60s records. And up next, this singer, initially a member of the Crowns on the R&B record label back in 1958, but then he became the lead of the Drifters starting in 1959 with all those cool releases on the Atlantic record label. There Goes My Baby, a great record that they did. But in 1960, he embarked on a successful solo career with hits like Spanish Harlem and Stand By Me. His real name is Benjamin Earl Nelson, but better known as Mr. Benny King. Now here's the B-side of his 27th of 33 solo releases he had on the Atco record label. It's a song he wrote. Let's go to May of 1967. Give a listen to Ben E. King. It's on Atco Records, a song entitled Teeny Weeny Little Bit.
You, baby, won't you love me a little bit? You, baby, come and love me a teeny little bit. I'm not the way I used to be. You bring out all the good in me. Whatever I have done before, I promise to you I'll never do it no more. If you would only love me a little bit. I need you to love me, oh love me a teeny weeny little bit. You'll find that I'm your ideal guy. Don't fight it, give my love a try. There's nothing you could think you need. I'll be right there just to please you. If only you love me, I need just a little love. Oh baby, you know I need a teeny weeny little bit. I'll make your every wish come true. That's not all I want to do for you. If you'd only give me half a chance, I'll start right away on those wedding plans for you. If you love me a teeny weeny bit of love, just a little bit. I need just a little of your love. Oh, need it. A little of your love, and I need it, baby. Got to have it. A teeny bit of your love. Oh, need it. You know I need it, baby.
That's Benny King, former lead of the Drifters and the Crowns prior to that, but that's a cool tune. It's a B-side from May 1967, Benny King on Atco Records. Teeny Weeny Bit is the name of that one. The A-side of this is called Catherine, but Ben continued to record into the 1990s. His last major hit was in 1975. I bought the 45 when it came out. It was called Supernatural Thing. And in 86, he had a hit again with Stand By Me, but it was from the movie of the same name. Remember that movie with the, they found that body by the train tracks there, and they replayed that his Stand By Me, another big hit for him, Mr. Benny King. As we continue here on the All 60s edition, program note, next Saturday, I plan on being here. My mother's having hip surgery. She's having her hip replaced, and she's not a spring chicken, and I'm hoping if everything goes right, which I know it will be, or hopefully it will be, I will be here for the Vinyltreasure Show next Saturday, all 50s and early 60s 60s edition of that. But let's continue with the all 60s edition. Now, on my last 60s show, I played the B-side of this MGM 45 by this quartet from Asbury Park, New Jersey. They were known as the Broadways. The B-side, a very cool tune. Their second release on MGM called You Just Don't Know. But the A-side's good too. It features Billy Brown on lead. This one charted number 15 on WJMO out of Cleveland, Ohio. Let's go back to August 1966. Give a listen to the Broadways on MGM. It's called Sweet and Heavenly Melody.
Baby, there's a song that's being sung here in my heart, a song I want to hear again and again from the start. Yes, I've heard many songs before, but never one like this. It's such a sweet and heavenly melody. My heart's excited over this sweet and heavenly melody. I'm starting life all over, 'cause morning, noon, and night, love song fills my heart with delight. And baby, it'll be a part of me for the rest of my life. For this song was composed by all the love you have for me. Love like a melody, sweet and heavenly. That's what you are. Here in my heart, a melody, sweet melody. Baby, when you told me there's a song in your heart too, a song conducted and composed by my true love for you. Never have I heard words spoken so vividly, just like a sweet and heavenly melody. You said my love inspires a sweet and heavenly melody. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Yeah, a group called the Broadways. The Broadways from August 1966. That's the intended A-side of their MGM release there, Sweet and Heavenly Melody. The flip side, a great tune, actually a tune that Mr. Dave the Rave, your Sunday night disc jockey, turned Johnny G onto. Great tune there, You Just Don't Know. You got to thank Dave the Rave for that one. And Billy Brown on lead for that tune. Billy would later become a member of the Moments on the Stang, that recorded for Stang Records. In the early 80s, he was a member of Ray Goodman and Brown. Johnny G here for the All 60s edition. Let's continue here for this group from Yonkers, New York. I featured their debut single on my from April 63 on the York label. Not too long ago on my 50s and early 60s show, a song entitled It's No Good. But in 1965, they signed with Jubilee Records and released a song called Doin' the Look. That was the intended A-side, but I like the flip side better. This one arranged by Robert Banks. They're called the Mandells. We go to December of 1965. The Mandells on Jubilee with their tune called True Love is Hard to Find.
Why did you leave me alone with nothing to do? Why did you leave me alone, so sad and blue? And I say, baby, you must have been crazy to go away. so sad and blue. Why did you leave me when you knew my love was true? And I say, baby, you must have been crazy to go away. 'Cause you know that a true love is hard to find. Hey, you must have been crazy, baby. Why did you leave me alone when you know? Why did you leave me when you know that a true love is hard to find? And baby, you must have been crazy to go away. 'Cause you know that a true love is hard to find. You must have been crazy, baby. Why did you leave me, baby? Why did you go away, baby? I wanna know why did you leave me? When you know that true love is so hard to find. Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me?
A group from Yonkers, New York, not too far from your host, Johnny G, where I'm broadcasting here up in the... Actually, it's not the No Static Attic. That's where Dave the Rave broadcasts. But I guess you can consider it's not the No Humidity Basement. It is the Attic. But that's a cool tune. They're called the Mandells, December 1965. True Love is Hard to Find. That is a fact. That one there on the Jubilee record label. Now, for you collectors out there, you can also own this record as done by the Jammers, probably to avoid confusion with another Mandells group out of Chicago. As the Jammers, they do have one more release on the Loma label. Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 45s. We continue here for this next singer that was discovered by Bobby Freeman and his manager Walt Summers while performing in Salisbury, Maryland. They heard 15-year-old Howard Harrison Wilson singing with his group The Hits around 1960 or 61 and brought them to New York, where they recorded Wedding Bells on Morris Levy's Roulette record label as Tiny Tim and the Hits. Now, Tiny Tim would become Timothy Wilson and join George Kerr's Serenaders in 1963. Then in 1965, Timothy went solo with releases on the Veep label and the Buddha label. Here is his third of 4 on Buddha. And this one produced by George Kerr. We go to June of 1968. Give a listen to Timothy Wilson on Buddha, song entitled Loving You.
Just can't live without it. Can't do a thing about it. Just can't live without it. Can't do a thing about it.
When the rain is beating on your window and you can't find the sun in the sky, and those clouds of gray seem to think they're here to stay, deep inside you wanna cry. You find me still loving you, no matter what you do. A love like mine is so hard to find. One day you'll understand.
Just can't live without it. Can't do a thing.
No, when your hopes are high and life is smiling, and the grass grows green around your door, and the skies are blue, put on a show for you, and happiness comes into view. You find me still there, loving you, no matter what you do. A love like mine is so hard to find. One day you'll understand.
Just can't live without it.
You'll
Can't do a
understand.
thing about to go. Just before you hide from the world outside, take a look around and you'll see. You'll find me still there, no matter what. A love like mine is so hard to find. One day you'll understand. Just can't live without. Oh, I can't live without you. No, I don't want to do without. Just can't live without. Oh, I need. Can't do a thing without. Oh, I've got to have. Just can't live without. Want you around up. Can't do a thing without. No, I've got to have you now. Just can't live.
Scratchy 45s here for a Saturday evening. That is Tiny Tim, lead of Tiny Tim in the hits, but he's Timothy Wilson there, June 1968 release on the Buddha record label. Loving You is the name of that one. That's the third of four on Buddha Records for him, and had other releases on Blue Rock and Sky Disc. Unfortunately, passed away April 22nd of 2017. He was only 73 years old. He died of cancer, but to remember him here on the Vinyltreasure Show as we continue here on the 60s edition. This next act is from Philadelphia, PA. They had two releases that came out on the Crimson label as the Brothers 2, and they were James Tyndall and Eddie Smalls. Now here's the A-side of their second release as we go to May of 68 on Crimson Records. They're called the Brothers 2. It's called Here I Am in Love Again.
She's gone, I was wrong. Why it always have to end? Mercy me, look what I see. Here I'm in love again. Now listen, this little girl I met is really different. She just drives away all my tears. Oh yes she does. Now I got a love that can't go bad, and I want you to listen to what she told me. She said, I love you, baby. Love you, baby. Never gonna leave you. Never gonna leave you. Love you, baby. You're the girl I need. Sunshine all the time. Everybody is my friend. Birds sing, guitars ring. Here I'm in love again. Now listen, just because I had some memory, people tell me I've got to watch it. Oh yes they do. But I just found the sweetest little thing, and I want you to listen to what she told me. She said, I love you, baby. Love you, baby. Never gonna leave you. Never gonna leave you. Love you, baby. You're the girl I need.
Yeah, they're called the Brothers 2 there. Cool soul tune there from May 1968. Here I Am in Love Again. Yes, I am. That one there Their second release on the Crimson record label. Now, the brothers two were James Tyndall and Eddie Smalls. Now, James Tyndall was previously a member of the Dials that recorded on the Hilltop label back in 1961. They got a couple of cool records on the Hillside label. Johnny G here spinning original vinyl 1960 style for tonight. Up next, though, a female soul singer from Louisville, Kentucky, but she was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. She had 9 releases on the New York City Diamond record label between 1966 and 1969. Let's give a listen to her 6th. This is the intended B-side of the 45. Her name is Ruby Winters. We go back to January 69, Miss Ruby Winters on Diamond. It's called Just Like a Yo-Yo. As Miss Ruby Winters, January 1969. That is her 6th of 9 releases on the Diamond record label. That's the B-side of the 45, song entitled Just Like a Yo-Yo. Do I play now the Osmonds record, Yo-Yo, on the MGF record label? No, I can't play that record. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening, spinning original vinyl 45s. We do it every Saturday from 10 to midnight. It's the All 60s edition. And up next, the singer best known for collaborating with Jackie DeShannon to write a hit. I'm sure you know the tune Put a Little Love in Your Heart, but he was also a vocalist from Salis, Mississippi. Started in 1963 on the Everest label, but other releases followed on the Tip and the Diplomacy, Liberty, Kent, Crossover, and this label featuring Minute Records. And this is his first of 12 on the Minute label, a song he wrote. This one charted number 98 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was number 21 on the Billboard R&B chart. This was a big number 1 record, though, on KATZ out of St. Louis, Missouri. Let's go to May of 1966 for Mr. Jimmy Holiday. Jimmy Holiday on the Minute label, a song entitled Baby, I Love You.
Baby, I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. Yes, I I'm crazy about you. You entered my life and upset my dreams. You've been a part of me all my life it seems, and that's why I love you. Yes I do. I love you, baby. Yes I do. I'm alone 'cause I can't stand the crowd. The talking and the laughter is much too loud. So I'll just sit here all alone, hoping while I pray that you hurry home. Call. Baby, I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. Yes, I do. Lord knows I do. Lord, my hair is turning gray, and I've wasted my whole life away. So I'm gonna dry away these tears and try to enjoy my last few years. But hold it, though I'm leaving you on your own. Don't forget to pray for me, darling, after I'm gone. Go to church and light a candle. Oh, but don't forget me. Yes, I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. Lord knows I love you. Oh, yes, I can't help myself. I've tried and tried and tried and tried.
That's the first of 12 on the Minute record label for Jimmy Holiday, May 1966. A big record in St. Louis, Missouri. Baby, I Love You is the name of that one. He has a nice one on the Everest label. How Can I Forget's a pretty cool tune he does. It's unfortunate that he passed away February 15th, 1987. He was 53. Passed away from heart failure, but that's a cool soul record. Johnny G here continuing for this singer from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Started recording back in 1961 on the Strand label. Had 7 releases on the New York City Diamond record label. We go back to Diamond Records. Somebody's tell Stereo Tom Johnny G's playing some Diamond 45s tonight. But here's the A-side to his 5th release on Diamond. This one charted regionally. This was number 12 on WOMP out of Bel Air, Ohio. This one arranged by Bill Ramal. Let's go to May of 1965. Give a listen to Gary Chris. Gary Chris on the Diamond label. A song entitled Hands Off, Buddy.
You say I stole your girl and nothing ever made you so mad. Well, she told me she left 'cause you were hurting her bad. I made her my girl, I did, and she'll still be mine if you come round again. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. In my arms, she's gonna stay. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. You're a loser now, so keep away. You had your fun and then you stepped all over her heart. And now you're crying 'cause you found you weren't so smart. So buddy, I'm letting you know that you're out of luck 'cause I never let her go. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. In my arms, she's gonna stay. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. You're a loser now, so keep away. don't want you anymore. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. In my arms, she's gonna stay. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. You're the loser now, so keep away. Hands off, buddy, she's my baby. In my arms, she's gonna stay. She said she don't want you, buddy. You're the loser.
May 65 release there from Mr. Gary Chris. Gary Chris on the Diamond label. Hands Off Buddy is the name of that one. This song was re-released in August of 67. That was the first press in May of 65. Then August 67 had a different flip. In the 1970s, he became the lead of the Glass Bottle on the AFCO record label. Johnny G spinning 1960s as we continue here. This next song was first recorded by Charlie Blackwell back in 1959, I think on the Warner Brothers record label, but it was covered by the likes of Elvis Presley, Ral Donner, Eddie Wood, Johnny Burnett. Other artists recorded it. They were album cuts. I think Bobby V does a rendition of the song, and a couple others at least on their albums. Now, this UK group called the Don Rydell Four, they were background singers for Helen Shapiro. They also recorded this cool tune, and they're here with their US release of this on the General American record label. Let's go to March of 1965. They're called the Don Rydell Four. This one on General American, a song, their rendition of the tune Girl of My Best Friend.
The way she walks, the way she talks, how long can I pretend? I can't help it, I'm in love with the girl of my best friend. Her lovely hair, her skin so fair, I could go on and never end. I can't help it, I'm in love with the girl of my best friend. I want to tell her how I love her so, and hold her in my arms once more. But if she got real mad and told him so, well, I could never face either one again. The way they kiss, their happiness, will my aching heart ever mend? Or will I always be in love with the girl of my best friend? With the girl of my best friend. With the girl of my best friend. With the girl of my best friend.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show, the Don Rydell 4 March 65 release. Their rendition of The Girl of My Best Friend came out on the General American record label. We continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Now, this next group, they're from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. First a recording on the Lawn label in 1963. Then they did a couple on Harold E. Kern's Highmar label. He was also the group's manager who wrote and produced this 45 that came out on the ABC Paramount record label. This one arranged and conducted by Charlie Colello. It features Corky Weiss on lead. We go to November of 65. Give a listen to the Royal Lancers. The Royal Lancers on ABC Paramount. It's called At the Head of the Crowd.
Just because I'm from the other side of town, that's no reason for you to be putting me down. Someday I'm gonna show you, just you wait and see. Someday I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna be a big man in this town. Nobody's ever gonna put me down. I'm gonna be a big man and walk proud at the head of the crowd. No new car and no nice clothes to wear. Oh, you see, there are no rich people over there. Someday I'm gonna show you, just you wait and see. Someday I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna be a big man in this town. Nobody's ever gonna put me down. I'm gonna be a big man and walk round at the head of the crowd. At the head of the crowd. Someday I'm gonna show you, just you wait and see. Someday I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna be a big man in this town. Nobody's ever gonna put me down. I'm gonna be a big man and walk round at the head of the crowd. 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 At the head of the crowd.
Scratchy 45 there. That one there arranged and conducted by Charlie Colello. They're called the Royal Lancers, November 1965. At the Head of the Crowd is the name of that one on the ABC Paramount record label. And I have a segue coming up. What song do you think came to my mind when I was listening to that Royal Lancers tune? If anybody wants to guess what song, well, I showed it to those guys in the and gals in the YouTube chat video there. But anyway, one thing that popped into my head was this famous group from Newark, New Jersey. Had so many great hits through the years, and this one charted number 20. This is my second hit for the night, by the way. I mentioned two hits. This is the other one. This one charted number 20 on Billboard, number 40 on Cashbox, number 4 on WQVA in Molina, Illinois. Now, this song was written by group member Bob Gaudio. It features the sound of Frankie Valli. And this is my second hit for the evening in the segue from October 64 on Phillips Records, The Four Seasons with Big Man in Town.
Whoa.
That's my second hit for the night. The Great Four Seasons there. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. October 64 release. Big Man in Town is the name of that one on the Philips label. That is on Styrene. I wonder if maybe that record I think comes out. You might be lucky. A couple of the pressing plants did press some of those Philips records, believe it or not, on vinyl. I know some of the promos are, but I don't know about that one. Anyway, I hope the copyright police do not attack Johnny G like they did last week. On my 50 show, I had a problem with, I played a record, my fifth record I played was by the Eagles. The Eagles, the 50s or R&B group, the Eagles on Mercury, was Trying to Get to You. And of course, that record covered by Elvis. Now, I don't know if somebody under that has the rights, maybe they got the rights of that record and they're using it for Elvis Presley, but they banned my video worldwide. And with YouTube now, there's a new beta YouTube that they're trying, this new cloud-based system. It wasn't working. I couldn't erase the song. It wasn't. Then finally, around Wednesday, I was able to do it, but it took hours and hours. But unfortunately, what it does is it gets rid of the chat. And there was people that emailed me. They go, "Where's the chat? I like to read the chat. I can't be there on Saturday night. I want to see the chat." Unfortunately, they haven't fixed that that part of this beta system yet, but they're getting better, they say anyway. But I hope they don't arrest me for that record. They may do it, who knows. That's why I don't like to play hits. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. We got another girl group sound out of New York City. Now, this song has that Phil Spector wall of sound feel to it, and I think they even sound like the Crystals on this release, but of course they are not. They are called the Castanets, and they have this lone single on the TCF record label arranged by Morty Kraft. It's written by Joe Simmons. We go to November of 63. They're called the Castanets on TCF. It's called I Love Him.
He likes to say he can't get any girl that he wants, and he makes me cry when he starts with his terrible taunts. There is nothing
Then he kissed me. Sounds like the Crystals to me. Those are the Castanets, November 1963 on the TCF record label. Song entitled I Love Him. Let's move on here and pulled out a few New York City Diamond 45s out of the collection tonight. Now here's another one and an in-demand tune by this singer from Elonia, Georgia. His real name is Curtis Futch Jr., and he was a member of the 1950s vocal group known as the Capitals that recorded on the Pet record label, then went solo in 1962 on Josie Records. Now, this tune on the Diamond label charted number 29 on KLIF out of Dallas, Texas, and I know Stereo Tom needs this 45. He collects the Diamond label. He's missing a few, and this is one of them from January 64. His name is Kurt Harris. Kurt Harris on the Diamond label with a song entitled Emperor of My Baby's Heart.
Walking down the street, I'm just another guy. No one pays attention anytime I'm passing by. But when I'm with my little girl, I'm something special in this world. The bugle play, oh, the trumpet star. Of my baby's heart, Lord knows I am. At the dance party, I don't ever steal the show. Lots of other guys are handsomer than me, I know. But when my baby kisses me, I feel like I am royalty. The bugle play, oh, the trumpet star, 'cause I'm the emperor of my little girl's heart. Lord knows I am. When she says that I'm her only one, I rule the earth on the moon and the sun. Oh, let the other guys be famous men or millionaires. They can have that kind of wealth and glory, I don't care. 'Cause when my girl says she's my own, I take my place upon my throne. The bugles play, oh, the trumpet start, 'cause I'm the emperor of my baby's heart. Lord knows I am. I said the bugles play, oh, the trumpet start, 'cause I'm the emperor of my baby's heart. Lord knows I am.
As Mr. Kurt Harris. Kurt Harris from January 64. It's on the Diamond label out of New York City. Played a few Diamond 45s tonight. That's Emperor of My Baby's Heart. Now, he would change his name to Curtis Scott in 1966 with releases on the Sure Shot label, Cherokee, Marquee, and other labels. Johnny G here spinning 1960s 45s. Got to say hi to Braden and Andrew and Charlene and Warren and Daryl and who else is in that video chat. There's a number of people there. But anyway, and all those also in the Top Shelf Oldies chat room that tune into the 60s edition. Randy, Jeff, Warren, Charlene, they're in both chat rooms. It's hard to do two chat rooms, but Johnny G does two chat rooms too. I do. But let's continue here. Now, this next singer, she's from the state of Washington. She first recorded in 1962 on the Hemlock label. Her real name is Josephine Visaya. I think that's how you say it. Visaya. But her alias was Josephine Sunday. That's a lot easier to say. But here is one she did on the Tower record label. This was recorded earlier by another Tower act known as the Starlets in December 64. This one's from November 65. A year later, it's by Josephine Sunday, Tower Records. Her rendition of the tune, You Won't Even Know Her Name.
I'll give you all the things that she never gave to you. I'll do the little things that you know she'll never do. I'll hug you, baby, yes, I'll love you, baby. And when I'm done, you won't even know her name. I'll make you proud of me in every little way. I'll say the pretty words that you know she'll never say. I'll tease you, baby, then I'll please you, baby. And when I'm done, you won't even know her name. Forget the way she mistreated you. For now I'm here to stand by you. That's all you do now. I'll give you all the things that she never gave to you. I'll do the little things that you know she'll never do. I love you, baby, yes, I love you, baby. And when I'm done, you won't even know her name. When I'm done, you won't even know her name. When I'm done, you won't even know her name.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Her name is Josephine Sunday, November 65 release on the Tower record label. You Won't Even Know Her Name is the name of the tune, originally done by the Starlets in December of 64. You can check out YouTube. You can see her. She's lip syncing to that song on American Bandstand. In 1965 somewhere there. Pretty interesting clip as we continue here on the All 60s edition. Up next, a singer by the name of Paul Jones. He was the lead singer for Manfred Mann. His real name was Paul Adrian Pond, and in July 66 he embarked on a solo career, had 4 releases on the Capitol label. Let's give a listen to his first. This one charted regionally. This was a number 29 on KNAK in Salt Lake City, Utah. We go back to October 1966, Capitol Records for Paul Jones and his tune called Baby Tomorrow.
Each time I try to kiss and hold you tight, you'd say, baby, tomorrow. Every night I'd ask, is this the night? You'd say, baby, tomorrow. Every time that I was near you, my heart would be pounding away. But all you ever did was tell me, wait, wait, wait another day. Weeks went by and it was still the same. You'd say, baby, tomorrow. How long did you think I'd play your game? With your baby tomorrow. Now you up on me, your love. Well, I found me another one. So I say, baby, tomorrow. And baby, tomorrow ain't never gonna come. say, baby, tomorrow. You'd say, baby, tomorrow. Now you up on me, your love. Well, I found me another one. So I say, baby, tomorrow. And baby, tomorrow ain't never gonna come. Never, never. So I say, baby, tomorrow. And baby, tomorrow ain't never. Don't you know it's never gonna come? No, it ain't. So I say, baby, tomorrow. And baby, tomorrow ain't never. Never, 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 never gonna come.
Cool tunes for a Saturday evening right here on Vinyl Treasures. That's Paul Jones, previously the lead singer of Manfred Mann. That one there, October 66, the first of 4 on the Capitol record label. His tune called Baby Tomorrow. Those are the kind of records I used to pick up for either between 5, 10, or 25 cents. You don't mind buying 45s sounding like that for that cheaper price. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue now. Now, a few 60s shows ago, don't remember how many, maybe 3 or 4, I played a song by a group from Chicago. They were called The Riddles, and the side I played was called It's One Thing to Say, which first came out on the local Quill label, then Mercury picked it up for national distribution. Now, I know we're going to now flip the 45 over before I file it down in the No Humidity basement, and they do a cover tune originally recorded by the Drifters back in '61. This tune written by Doc Pomus and Mort Schumann. It features Patrick Harper on lead. This one charted regionally. This was a big number 17 on WMTH. Out of Park Ridge, Illinois. We go back to March of 1967. They're called The Riddles. It's on Mercury, and they're doing their rendition of the tune Sweets for My Sweet.
Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. If you wanted a star that shines so brightly to match the stardust in your eyes, darling, I would chase that bright star nightly and try to steal it from the sky. 'Cause I need sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. If you wanted a dream to keep you smiling, darling, out to the Sandman you walk to, and I'll ask him to keep that sand a piling until your dreams have all come true. 'Cause I need sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. Sweet sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go. If you wanted a love to last forever, darling, I will send my love your way. And my love might only last forever, but forever and a day. 'Cause I need sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. Your first sweet kiss thrills me so. Sweets for my sweet, sugar for my honey. I'll never ever let you go.
Has a little bit of a British sound to it, I should say. Those are the Riddles, March 67. Sweets for My Sweets is their name of the tune. That's the Drifters tune. That's on the Mercury record banner as we move on here on the Vinyltreasure Show. We go back to the UK with this group that was managed by the Beatles manager, Brian Epstein. They had 4 releases here in the US on the Atco record label. This is their 4th. It was written by their lead singer. His name is Brian O'Hara. He was also the lead guitarist for the group. They were known as the Foremost. This one came out in September of 64. The Foremost on Atco. It's called You Got That Way. Whoa, whoa. Don't want to ruin my needle. There you go.
That way about you, can't live without you. You got that way. You make me proud to hold you. How many times I've told you, you got that way. Love grows each day, for you got that way. You, when you're smiling my way, what I feel words can't say. You got that way. Love grows each day, for you got that way. You, when you're smiling my way, what I feel words can't say. You got that way. You got that way. You got that way.
They're called the Foremost. The Foremost from the UK. That one there, September 1964. That's their 4th release on the Atco label. You Got That Way is the name of that one. Tell Johnny G how I got this way with all these 45s. I was addicted to vinyl. Johnny G addicted to vinyl for a number of years, but I'm holding back. eBay has, with the charging of the sales tax, no, Johnny G cannot afford to pay like 8.3% more for records. So unfortunately, some of the people that had my business, they lost a lot of revenue. They're going to have to contact me privately to sell 45s. I'm not paying that extra tax. No way. Johnny G continuing here for a Saturday evening. This next artist was the bass player for the Bobby Fuller 4 and also happened to be Bobby's younger brother, Randy. Now, after Bobby's mysterious death, on July 18th of 1966, Bob Keane, owner of the Mustang label, attempted to capitalize on the group's previous success by using the instrumental track of a song that Bobby recorded at the Delphi Studios, and his brother Randy overdubbed his voice over the track. The result was this release was charted number 40 on KRLA in Los Angeles, California. As we go to August of 1966 on the Mustang label, give a listen to Randy Fuller and the tune It's Love Come What May.
Just a game. This is not the same. This is love from what may. This is love.
As Johnny G gets caught here, as I'm showing the next record to the fans there and the thing. There you go. That is the younger brother of Bobby Fuller. That's Randy Fuller there from August 1968. It's on the Mustang record label. Bob Keane, the owner of Delphi Records, also put together Mustang Records. Song entitled It's Love Come Wet May, the first of two for Randy Fuller on Mustang Records. He would have a later release on the Showtown label, I think it's what it is. But anyway, Johnny G here doing my all 60s edition of the Vinyltreasure Show. We return to the UK for this band that formed in Wiltshire, England. Their first US recordings came out on the Fontana label. I have a release on the Imperial label. It's their third on Imperial. Now, this group consisted of 5 members. The lead singer, his name is Dave D, along with other members. They were Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Tish, although there is no comma after Beaky, but it is Beaky is another member of the group. This one charted number 61 on WILK in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Let's go to June of 68 for Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Tish on Imperial, a song entitled Breakout.
I know where I'm going, and I know where I've been, and I know that I've found some things that made my life begin. Now the world is neither good nor bad, the whole thing's up to you. If you're just break out and be free, yeah, baby, 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 break out and you'll see. Come on now, baby, you're gonna see me. Then you'll be a living, loving, walking, talking, beautiful person who's not afraid to know that you are.
I guess we gotta send that one out to Hi-Fi Tim, the DJ, Monday night DJ here with the Hi-Fi Party on Top Shelf Oldies. He Likes That Tune by Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Tish from June 1968. It's called Breakout. It's on the Imperial record label. This is a nice vinyl promo. You like to get those Imperials on vinyl for sure. Now, Dave D's real name was David Herman. He was an ex-policeman, and he was at the accident scene that took the life of Eddie Cochran and injured Gene Vincent. Yes, he was, but they like that tune there. Hi-Fi Tim likes that song. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. Let's continue. We go back to the Diamond record label out of New York City, but I know nothing about this singer. But there's a cool fuzz guitar on this record, and it happens to be his second overall release. His first came out in 65 on the VJMR label, but he followed it up with this one arranged by Chuck Sagal. Let's go to January 68. Give a listen to Vinny J. Martin. Vinny J. Martin's his name. Diamond Records. It's called Whenever You Need Me. January 68 release there for Vinny J. Martin's his name on the Diamond label out of New York City. A song entitled Whenever You Need Me. Whatever you need, Johnny G, I'll be here 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies with the Vinyltreasure Show. So let's continue now. And I have to thank your Sunday night disc jockey, Mr. Dave the Rave, for this next song. I have to admit, I did and have purchased 45s from Mr. Dave the Rave. We have actually did some trades. We bought records from each other, and I used to run a lot of labels. Dave has a lot of records, so I actually got to get back over there. He likes to come over here and look through Johnny G's 45s. I like to go over his house and look at his No Static Attic, look at all those 45s. But actually, this record, I didn't pay for it. He gave it to me for free. He gave it to me for free because he looked at the condition. He said, you know what, this isn't in great condition. You can have it for free, but it cleaned up pretty nice. And I'm sure he has the record. He was a little bit concerned. He needed to double check, but he does. So, that would just never happen. But I have to thank the Sunday night disc jockey Dave the Rave for this. But anyway, the group is called the Fuller Brothers. They did 3 on the Monument label. This was their third. This one produced by Bobby Russell and Bud Kaysen. Let's go back to March of 1967 on Monument Records for the Fuller Brothers. A song entitled Big Church Wedding. Scratchy.
You know it's gonna cost a lot of money, and wearing tails, I'm gonna look real funny. We'll have a big church wedding with lots of candlelight. We'll be in wedding white. We'll have a big church wedding. We'll have to set the date, sit around and wait. What if we ran away? But if we ran away, our friends would take our wedding as a joke. And though they'd never say, I'm sure that it would really hurt our folks. So for our parents' sake, and just to satisfy our friends, we'll give in and have a big church wedding. A little chapel bells will ring the news and tell about a big church wedding. All our friends will go and people we don't know. Girl, I love you so. I'd like to run away and marry you tonight. No matter what they say, I'm sure that it would turn out right. But for the sake of our folks and just to satisfy our friends, I will give in and have a big church wedding. We'll have a big church wedding. And lots of little light will be in wedding white. We'll have a big church wedding. When all our friends will go and people we don't know. We'll have a big church wedding. Your dad looks so proud, my mama cried loud. We'll have a big church wedding. We'll be leaving soon on a honeymoon. We'll have a big church wedding. And the chapel bells will ring the news and tell about a big church.
That's the third release for the Fuller Brothers on the Monument label. March 67 release, The Big Church Wedding is the name of the tune. Program note, Johnny G will be attending a big church wedding on September 28th. That's a Saturday. And I will be at that wedding, so I will not be doing my show. That someone will be filling in, I'm sure. And also I might be going to that Allentown, Pennsylvania show, which is October 5th. That's the weekend after. That would be 2 shows in a row I would miss. And I know a lot of the listeners want me to attend that show. I would love to. It's be a big social event for your host, Johnny G. I haven't been to one of those record shows in a long time. And since I've been buying less, I'll have bulging pockets to go there with lots of money in them. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we are playing all 1960s. We do it the last Saturday of the month. Let's continue here. Now here's a B-side from the last 60s show by a group called The Boys Next Door. They were from Indianapolis, Indiana. I played the A-side of this 45. It was called There Is No Greater Sin. Now the B-side's a pretty cool tune also. It was written by the Tokens, who also released this on the Buddha label in April of 1970. They recorded this one. I don't know if they recorded it earlier or not, but this release came out in February of 66. It features Steve Kester on lead. Let's go to the Cameo record label for The Boys Next Door and their rendition of the tune I Could See Me Dancing With You.
Smiled at you and I said hello, and when you smiled back at me, I had to know that
That's a cool tune. Both sides of that 45 there by the Boys Next Door are pretty cool. That one there from February 66, the Boys Next Door, I Could See Me Dancing With You. That one there on the Cameo record label, the flip side. Also an excellent tune, There Is No Greater Sin, as we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Here's a 45 on Mike Kerb's Sidewalk label. The group is called it's 13th Power, and they're really a fictional group that includes the duo writers on this, Paul Weber and Dale Beckner, and they were called 13th Power. Let's go back to October 1967, Sidewalk Records, 13th Power with I See a Change Is Gonna Come.
I built a castle in the sky. I built a room without a door. A sudden flash and then oh my, I could not see them anymore. I see a change is gonna come, not too soon for everyone. I finally see the light, oh, what a very welcome sight for me. It's the silent hush falls all around. A loving breeze goes through my hair. A sudden warmth that I have found. I see a change is gonna come, not too soon for everyone. I finally see the light, oh, what a very welcome sight for me. It's gonna come, not for everyone. It's gonna come, not for everyone. It's gonna
That's on Mike Kerb's Sidewalk record label there. They're called 13th Power. October 67 release, I See a Change Is Gonna Come. I can't wait for the weather to get nice and cool into football weather. That's what Johnny G says. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. More garage tunes coming up. We go back to Louisville, Kentucky, to the Rising Suns record label. Does anybody know what the biggest hit was on the Rising Suns label? Well, that, I think, would have to be Robert Knight's Everlasting Love. I think that was the biggest hit on the label, which I really like, by the way. It was 45 my aunt purchased back in 67. But this one was not a national hit, but it was a number 6 hit on WKLO in the group's hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. It features Donnie Keeling. I think that's Donnie Keeling on lead. And he also wrote the tune. Let's go back to March of 67. They're called the Us Four. The Us Four on Rising Sun, a song entitled The Alligator. Or...
Down on the hands and knees, they were doing the joke. No, no, no.
The Us Four. The Us Four there from March 1967 on the Rising Suns record label. Song entitled The Alligator. Played a couple dances earlier in the show. The flip side of that record, completely different sound. I was going to play actually last 60 show both sides of that record, but we'll wait till the next 60 show. But anyway, that's their cool tune. As we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show with more garage sounds, this group from Levelland, Texas. It was near Lubbock, Texas. They had 5 releases on the Hickory label out of Nashville, Tennessee. Here is their 4th. It features Lucky Floyd on lead. Let's go back to March of 1967. I mentioned at Hickory Records, they're called The Sparkles. The Sparkles, a song entitled No Friend of Mine.
You told me if I ever got down, you'd do my crown, baby. I'm down so groovy. Yeah! My poor heart is cold as a log that fell in the middle of a big peat bog, so moving. Yeah! Now watch this, babe. Are you just gonna stand there and watch me pull my hair? Will you go on? You get out of here. 'Cause you ain't no friend of mine. No, 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 no. Ain't no friend of mine. You can put me on all this time. You ain't no friend of mine. You just gonna stand and watch me blow my mind. Sun comes up and the moon goes down. I'm running wild on the town like a boozer. Yeah! Man on the sidewalk put me down. Said I look weird, call me a clown and a loser. Yeah! Now watch this, babe. Are you just gonna stand there? Remember when I was pulling my hair? Will you go on? You get out of here. 'Cause you ain't no friend of mine. No, 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 no. Ain't no friend of mine. You've been putting me on all this time. You ain't no friend of mine. You just gonna stand and watch me blow my mind. You ain't no friend of mine. Ain't no friend of mine, baby. You ain't no, no, you ain't no.
When you run the Hickory label out of Nashville, Tennessee, you're going to get records like that. Those are the Sparkles, March 1967. That is their 4th release, 4th of 5 on the Hickory label, song entitled No Friend of Mine. As we are almost in Vinyltreasure overtime, let's continue here. Here's a 45 on the Ascot label, arranged by Bassett Hand and produced by Feldman, Goldstein, and Goddard. It also is rumored that this group is, in fact, them, a.k.a. the Strangelers. Maybe there are. If anybody can verify that, John G. would like to know. Send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. But this was a 10-cent purchase, this 45, and sometime in the late 70s at the Yonkers Raceway Flea Market. But let's go back to March of 66. They're known as the Stewarts on the Ascot label. It's called Just a Little Bit.
Well, don't you know that I want just a little bit more? And don't you know that I need just a little bit more than a friendly relation? I'm looking for a sensation that only you can give.
Those are the Stewarts there, March 1966, on the Ascot record label. Just a Little Bit More is the name of that one. As we hit the witching hour, we do Vinyl Treasure overtime. Just a little bit more here. Let's continue now. Let's go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for this next 45. It's on Lou Guarino's American Music Makers label, as this is a cover song. This was originally done by the Hollies. And it was the B-side to their UK release of Carrie Ann. I don't think this was released here in the US, at least by the Hollies, but it was released by this group called The Upset, UP-SET. And this one's from January of 1967, The Upset on American Music Makers. It's called You Need Love.
Somebody that means a lot. So you give the best of what you've got. It's a reason for living to have someone. Without a love in your life, you can't go on. Trust was right.
'67 release there by The Upset. They're doing the Hollies tune, You Need Love. That one there out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The American Music Makers. Johnny G in the garage for a Saturday night. Got one more garage tune to spin here, and a string of garage sounds out of Johnny G's collection. Here's another by a group from North Babylon, Long Island. It's on 20th Century Fox Records. It's their only release. It was written by the guitarist for the group. His name is Carl Scafano, and the drummer, his name is John O'Frias, and the lead singer goes by the name of George Abruscato. Let's give it a spin here from August 1966, 20th Century Fox Records. They're called The Motions, but spelled M-O-SHUNS, The Motions, with a song entitled What Can I Say?
You wanted to go, I wanted to stay. You wanted to go, I wanted to stay. Don't you know I don't want you away? Oh, what can I say? I want to know what makes you this way. I want to know. Please tell me I may. Won't you tell me what I may say? Oh, what can I say? What can I say? What can I do? What can I say to make you stay? What can I say? What can I do? What can I say to make you stay? You wanted to go, I wanted to stay. You wanted to go, I wanted to stay. Don't you know I don't want you away? Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to send that one out to Mr. Dave the Rave, our Sunday night disc jockey here with the Relics and Rarities show. We're going to send that to Dave. Those are the Motions from August 1966. It's on the 20th Century Fox record label. For you collectors out there, number 6645. A song entitled What Can I Say? What can Johnny G say? Except I'm spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. Many of you know this next group out of Dallas, Texas. This quintet, their biggest hit was in 1967 on the Abnac label. If you're familiar with the tune Western Union, I'm sure you are. But they recorded on different labels through the years. Here's one of their 45s on the ABC Paramount label, produced by Dale Hawkins. And it's led by vocalist and lead guitar player Michael Raybon. This one charted number 48 on WACO in Waco, Texas. Let's go to June of 65 for the Five Americans on ABC Paramount with a song called Show Me. A group called the Five Americans. Five Americans, June 65 release, ABC Paramount Records. Their cool tune song entitled Show Me. Johnny G shows you every Saturday all the cool 45s out of my collection. Let's continue now. We head to Detroit, Michigan for this next singer. His real name is Kenneth Head. Started back in 1961 on United Artists Records. Had another on the Jola label in 64. Then he did 3 for RCA Records. Here is his second, and it's a song he wrote under his alias, Fred Skau, Skau, I guess that's how you say it. Anyway, this one arranged by Gary Sherman. Let's go back to May of 1966 for Mr. Kenny Carter. Kenny Carter on RCA with his tune. It's called I've Gotta Get Myself Together.
Get yourself together. Get yourself together, silly boy. Get yourself together. Get yourself together, silly boy.
I've got to get myself together, whoa, before I lose my
Get
mind.
yourself together.
Ever since you left me, little girl, all I do is just sit here crying. Oh, but I've got to realize that you left me for another guy. And although I know you done me so wrong, I've got to realize that life must go on. And that's why I've got to get myself together, oh Lord, and find me somebody new.
Get yourself together.
Oh, because now I know, little girl, yes I do, that your love wasn't really true now. Oh, there's no more for me to say. I guess it just had to end this way, but I've got to get myself together right now before I lose my mind.
Get yourself together. Get yourself together, silly boy. Get yourself together. Get yourself together, silly boy.
I've got to get myself together right now. Oh yes, and find me somebody new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, because now I know, little girl, yes I do, that your love wasn't really true now. Oh, there's no more for me to say. I guess it just had to end this way, but I've got to get myself together right now before I lose my mind.
Get yourself together.
Oh, what you say now?
Get yourself together.
Got to get myself together right
Get
now.
yourself together.
Yes, I do now.
Get yourself.
May 66 release there for Mr. Kenny Carter. Kenny Carter on RCA Records. That's the second of 3 on RCA. And it's called I've Gotta Get Myself Together. That's the original version of that, but the better version and the more in-demand version is the one by Spider Turner on the Good Sound record label. This record has to be a tad faster, just a tad faster, but a great record indeed. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue. Now, on the last 60's show, I featured Joey D and the Starlighters with a release on the Jubilee label. It was the B-side of their 4th 45 on Jubilee. It was called Put Your Heart in It. Now, the intended A-side is like a medley of 3 songs. One is that was done by the Dovells, You Can't Sit Down. Another one was done by Ray Charles, What I Say. And the third was a Joey D hit called The Peppermint Twist. So all 3 medley together here. So let's give it a spin. We go back to March of 67 for Joey D and the Starlighters on Jubilee Records with You Can't Sit Down, What I Say, and then it blends into The Peppermint Twist.
Starlighter himself, Joey D.
Thank you kindly. Hey everybody, gather round. I got something for you I want to really lay down. Hey pretty baby, don't you hear the drummer thumping? You gotta shake it like a crazy, because my band is saying something.
got to be a live performance, maybe. Well, they could add that chatter in the background there. That's a cool tune. Joey D and the Starlighters. March 1967 on the Jubilee record banner. That's the intended A-side, a medley of You Can't Sit Down, What I Say, and the Peppermint Twist. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's go to another girl group. I think this group is from Port Richmond, New York. First started recording, I think, as Candy and the Kisses. That's what I always thought, but I was checking John Clemente's girl group book, and he doesn't mention it, but it does on some of the websites. But you'll see why when I play the song. But it's because it sounds like the 81. It sounds like Candy and the Kisses, but actually this group is called Honey, Love, and the Love Notes. So I think they are one and the same. I'll have to check with my girl group specialist, John Clemente, but it's from August 65. It's on the Cameo record label. These are Honey, Love, and the Love Notes with their tune called We Belong Together. I gotta agree with Hi-Fi Tim. I say that is Candy and the Kisses, although John Clemente with his girl group, he does a section on Candy and the Kisses. He doesn't mention this group, Honey, Love, and the Love Notes. And as a Gamble Huff tune, it sounds like the 81. She sounds like the lead singer, who I think is Suzanne Nelson. I think she was the original lead on the 81. But that's August 65 on the Cameo label. Honey, Love, and the Love Notes. We Belong Together. Cool tune out of Philadelphia. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's continue with a little bit more here. And last month I played a song by the High Keys. Actually, it was on my Father's Day special, I think, Daddy Ooh Longlegs, from 1963 on the Atco label. Now, the lead singer of that High Keys group was Troy Keys, who was also a member of the Velours in 1958, by the way, but he was born in Pentago, North Carolina, but he grew up in Brooklyn, New York, had some solo releases. Here is the first of three he did on ABC Paramount, written and produced by George Kerr. This one arranged by Richard T. This one charted number 92 on Billboard, number 43 on the Billboard R&B charts, but was a big number 14 on WWRL here in New York City, and sounds like the Four Tops could be singing this tune. Let's go to December of 67 for Troy Keys on ABC. It's called Love Explosion. Reminding me of the Four Tops there. Four Tops sound alike, but that's really Troy Keys, December 67, Love Explosion is the name of that one on the ABC record label. Johnny G's here in Vinyltreasure Overtime. Let's continue here. Let's go back to Diamond Records. Played a lot of Diamond 45s tonight for this artist by the name of Bert Dache. I think that's how you pronounce it. Bert Dache, D-A-C-H-E. Started recording for United Artists Records back in 1960. As we move up 6 years now to 1966 with the intended B-side of this 45, which is the better side in my opinion, was written by Joe Simmons and Larry Kusek. This one from April 66, Bert Dache. Bert Dache on Diamond Records. It's called Don't Stop the World for Me.
I don't wanna get off. Don't stop the world. I don't wanna get off. 'Cause I couldn't stand more happiness. Are you talking to me? Than when I'm a feeling in your caress. Ooh-wee. And now, baby, now that you're my girl, I'm your girl. Don't stop the world. I don't want can find. No, say how happy I feel to hear you say your love is real and that you'll always be mine. Baby, I'm so proud to tell everyone that I found a love that's not for fun. As long, just as long as you're my girl, don't stop the world. I don't wanna, no, I don't wanna get old. 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 Oh,
His name is Bert Dache. Yeah, no, Bert Dachi. I guess is how you say it. From April 66 on the Diamond record label, song entitled Don't Stop the World. Played a lot of Diamond 45s tonight. We got 2 more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Now here's a group from Mansfield, Ohio. It was founded by the lead guitarist. His name is Terry Van Auker, but they were discovered by Columbia record producer John Walsh, who signed them to Columbia Records. The result were 3 singles. Let's give a listen to their first. It's a, I think that's, I got the right slide. So, yeah, it's a Sloan Barry composition, and a Sloan Barry pen tune featuring Jim Krause on lead. We go to June of 67 on Columbia Records for a group called Wildlife, and a song entitled This Is What I Was Made For. That one there from June 1967 for a group called Wildlife. Wildlife there on the Columbia record banner. Song entitled This Is This is what I was made for. Johnny G was made for spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collections. That's going to do it for the Vinyltreasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 60s 45s. If you want to get in touch with Johnny G, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And you can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net. You can stream or download the shows there. I think a lot of people did that for the first couple days of last week because YouTube messed me up there by not allowing the show to post. That was not good. And I had a big faux pas in the beginning of the show because there was like 4 minutes of no sound. I'm going to have to type that in. So tell your folks that, or whoever's watching that it's not going to play right. But anyway, thanks again for tuning in. You want to send me an email, vinyltreasures@aol.com. I did get some requests for this show. It unfortunately is difficult for me to take requests for the All 60s show because I have no filing system. I have records all mixed up in boxes. There is no way I could find some of the requests here unless you request 70s records. I have some of those filed, but none of these other records. It's like, take a box and let's look through it and let's find some cool 60s records. That's what I do when I do my 60s show. So it took me a while to put together some of these things, but some cool tunes. I haven't featured them here at all or in a while, that's for sure. All the cool garage tunes I played tonight, have them in multiple boxes. So I'll be back in a month or two for more 60s. And of course, next Saturday will be my all 50s and early 60s show. But that's going to do it, folks. And we're closing the show tonight from, actually, I told you I had a record from 1970. Actually, this record on the Buddha label is from, when I lost my place here. It is from May of 1970, and I don't know anything about the group. They're called the Flint-Nicks, Flint-Niks. I wonder if they're from Flint, Michigan. I have no clue, but it's from May of 1960 on Buddha Records, and Charlene found out that maybe the Sha Na Na are backing these guys up. I don't know. Maybe they are, but it's called Yabba Dabba Doo, Honey, I Love You. That's the closer for tonight from 1970. So that's going to do it, folks. Please tune in tomorrow evening for my buddy Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities show. It all begins at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight, right here on Top Shelf Oldies, and all the cool shows here on Top Shelf Oldies during the week beginning at 8 p.m. Some are early. I think Rich Sabello is early on a Tuesday afternoon. Anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Thanks a lot, Charlene, again, for all your help. I plan on being here next Saturday, but in case I am not, that means something didn't go right with my mother's surgery, so that's really important Tuesday. I got to take some time off from work to take her over to the hospital and whatnot, so we'll see. People will know if I'm going to be on or not, so I might have somebody. If I'm not here, then something is not good, but I plan on being here next Saturday if all goes well. Thanks again for sticking around and tuning in to the All 60s edition. I hope you enjoyed the tunes tonight. Enjoy bringing them to you every Saturday right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Just want to say, everybody, have a safe and happy week, and I'm just going to say so long.
So the day I met you, girl, I can't forget you.
There you go. Thanks, folks, for sticking around. I had some delay today. There was some, like I mentioned earlier in the show, there was a Windows update. I actually had I was afraid because it said it was going to get rid of my icons on my desktop, and I'm like, it better not get rid of the icons. So I end up calling Dell. I have like a service contract with Dell. I got this nice guy on the phone, and he says, I don't know what you're talking about. I need to see it. It sounds like you're reinstalling your operating system. I says, I don't want to do that. I don't know what came up. I have this program that Dell runs to check my PC. So he came on and he took control of my PC, and he's going, oh no, you're not going to run this, don't worry about it. But it took at least an hour, if not longer, to run. So I'm like, I need the PC to research some of these records. So I fell way behind. And Barbara's mother, my girlfriend Barbara's mother, had surgery last Tuesday, and she couldn't leave, so I had to go out and buy some things for her that she needed because nobody can come in. She couldn't leave her mother. And I'm going to be in that boat next week, but I have a larger family, so I can have people here. I got to go to work in Newark. But anyway, here's that record there on Buddha. Weird record it was. I don't know who this is or who it could be, but anyway, that's it. Somebody wrote a date, July 27, 1970. Jesse James is a writer. I know that. Wonder if that's the Jesse James on the Atco label. Anyway, so thanks again, Charlene, and for you guys sticking around till the end. I do appreciate it. I really do. But I love playing my records, as you can see. I love playing my records every Saturday night. That's really the only time I get to hear them, and going through a lot of these things. It amazes me how many things that I have. And I do have a lot. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I know you did. Hopefully you did. But anyway, that's it, folks. Have a safe and happy week. Again, I said that, but I'll see you here hopefully next Saturday on the Vinyltreasure Show. So long, guys.